What really happened to 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells on Horn Island during a 4th of July boating trip? A teenager goes out with friends to celebrate Independence Day. Hours later, he's reported missing. 2 days after an extensive search, his body is found on a remote Mississippi barrier island. Since then, conflicting accounts, unanswered questions, and widespread social media speculation have turned this tragedy into one of the most discussed investigations in recent weeks. In today's video, we'll walk through everything that has been publicly confirmed, from the moment Nolan left home to the latest developments in the investigation. We'll separate verified facts from speculation and explain why so many questions remain unanswered. If you appreciate fact-based coverage of ongoing investigations, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Now let's begin. Nolan Xavier was an 18-year-old from Mississippi who had recently graduated from high school. According to family members, he was excited about his future and enjoyed spending time with friends and family. By all public accounts, July 4th was supposed to be another summer day spent celebrating with friends on the water. Instead, it became the beginning of a heartbreaking mystery. On July 3rd, Nolan spent time with his family before leaving to meet friends. His mother later recalled that he hugged both of his parents before leaving. At the time, there was nothing unusual. No indication that this would be the last time they would ever see him alive. The next morning, Nolan joined several friends on a boating trip to Horn Island. Horn Island is one of Mississippi's barrier islands, located in the Gulf of Mexico. Unlike a typical beach destination, the island is undeveloped. There are no permanent residents, no restaurants, no stores, very limited cell service. Anyone visiting the island must arrive by boat. Once you're there, you're largely on your own until another boat arrives. While the island is beautiful, it can also become dangerous if someone is stranded. On Independence Day, Nolan traveled with a group of friends to Horn Island. Witnesses say several groups of people were gathered there celebrating the holiday. At first, everything reportedly appeared normal. Friends socialized, people swam, boats arrived and departed throughout the afternoon. Investigators say Nolan was last seen sometime around 3 p.m. This is where the timeline begins to grow unclear. The conflicting stories. One of the biggest questions in this case is why Nolan remained on Horn Island while others left. Different witnesses have reportedly provided different explanations. One version suggested Nolan planned to catch another ride back to the mainland later. Another suggested he was speaking with a young woman before the boats departed. However, according to reports, that woman later told investigators Nolan had actually said he was returning to the boat he originally arrived on. If true, those two accounts cannot both be accurate. Exactly what happened during those final moments remains unknown. Around 4:30 that afternoon, the boat Nolan had arrived on reportedly left Horn Island. According to those on board, the boat had begun experiencing mechanical problems and was taking on water. They later stated they had to leave. The unanswered question is this: how did Nolan become separated from the people he came with? Was it intentional? Was it accidental? Or is there another explanation investigators have yet to determine? As of today, authorities have not publicly answered those questions. As daylight faded, Nolan still had not returned home. Around 11 p.m. that night, one of his friends reportedly contacted the U.S. Coast Guard to report him missing. Reports indicate that this initial call did not immediately trigger a Coast Guard rescue operation. Around midnight, Nolan's mother officially reported him missing to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. At that point, what had begun as a fun holiday had become an emergency. On July 5th, a massive search operation was launched. Multiple agencies joined the effort, including local law enforcement, the U.S. Coast Guard, the National Park Service, Marine Patrol units, and volunteer organizations such as the United Cajun Navy. Boats searched the shoreline. Aircraft scanned the island from above. Ground teams searched wooded areas and beaches. Volunteers also joined the effort, hoping Nolan would be found alive. For his family, every passing hour became more agonizing. On the morning of July 6th, tragedy struck. Around 8:45 a.m., a National Park Service ranger located a body near the northwestern end of Horn Island. Later that day, Nolan's family confirmed the body was his. The search had ended, but the investigation was only beginning. Authorities performed an autopsy shortly afterward. However, officials explained that determining both the cause and manner of death would require additional testing, including toxicology. Those results would take several weeks. Because of this, investigators did not immediately announce how Nolan died. Without those findings, many of the public's biggest questions remained unanswered. Nolan's family soon announced they were seeking their own independent investigation. They retained nationally known civil rights attorney Ben Crump. The family has publicly expressed concerns about several aspects of the case. Among them are why Nolan would have been left alone on the island, conflicting witness statements, questions surrounding cell phone activity, reports involving deleted Snapchat messages. The family has emphasized they want transparency and accountability. They have repeatedly said they simply want to know exactly what happened to Nolan. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office has stated that the investigation remains active. Investigators have continued collecting witness statements. They have requested photos and videos from anyone who was on Horn Island during the July 4th holiday. Authorities have also continued reviewing digital evidence and awaiting final forensic reports. Importantly, investigators have not announced a final cause of death. Likewise, they have not publicly concluded whether foul play was involved. That means the investigation remains open. As it often happens in high-profile cases, social media quickly filled with theories. Some posts claimed Nolan had been murdered, others alleged a cover-up. Some accused specific individuals without evidence. At this time, none of those allegations have been publicly confirmed by investigators. While it's understandable that people want answers, it's important to distinguish verified information from online speculation. Only evidence gathered during the official investigation, or any credible independent investigation, can establish what actually occurred. Today, several major questions remain unanswered. Why did Nolan become separated from his group? What exactly happened between the last confirmed sighting and the discovery of his body? Why do witness accounts appear to differ? Will forensic testing clarify the circumstances surrounding his death? And will investigators eventually determine whether this was an accident, a medical emergency, or something else entirely? These are questions that investigators continue working to answer. For Nolan's family, this case is far more than headlines or social media discussions. It is the loss of a son whose life ended far too soon. While investigators continue gathering evidence and awaiting final forensic results, many details remain unknown. Until authorities release additional findings, it's important to rely on verified information rather than speculation. Our thoughts remain with Nolan's family and everyone affected by this tragedy. As new official developments become available, this story will undoubtedly continue to evolve. Thank you for watching. If you found this timeline helpful, consider liking the video, subscribing for future updates, and sharing this video so others can better understand the confirmed facts surrounding this ongoing investigation. We'll continue following the case and provide updates as credible information becomes available.